Okay, somebody said I just found you on YouTube. All right. Yes, we are live now. I'm sharing the link. All right. Yes, we are live now. I'm sharing the link. All right. Look, now we are live. Come on. Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Overcomer Story, second edition. Thank you for joining. Please, if you are on, kindly share the links and say hello to me so that I can acknowledge you. Let's take about 5 minutes to share the links whilst we enjoy the background music. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, yes, thank you very much. Let me just pause my music for 1 minute. Okay. I'm doing everything myself today, so forgive me. All right. Thank you once again for coming on this evening. Please, if you are on, say hello to me so I can acknowledge you. I don't want anyone to say, oh, you didn't acknowledge me. So I want to acknowledge everybody. So if you are on, say hello. Just type something for me to know you are on. Hello, my Instagram family. Thank you for joining. God bless you. Mystery Adams, thank you. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Yes, we are all welcome. We were late a little bit because we had few issues, technical issues, but hey, we are on. And so thank you for coming. This evening is going to be another exciting time. Hello, Zarau, Erica. God bless you. Thank you for joining. It's going to be another exciting episode. Today, you can see that I'm not here alone. I'm here with Iyeti Apeji. Say hello to her. Let her feel welcome
Hi.
that she's on this platform. Yes. So, as we are all aware of the reason why we are here, so Overcomer Story is designed to help the people that are less confident, the vulnerable people. The lot of people are going through life challenges that they don't know what to do with their life. They don't even know how to even come out from the mess they have created, or the life challenges that are happening around them that has brought them to a place of low self-esteem. So we have a lot of overcomers that are lined up to come and share their stories to encourage someone out there. And so if you are on, as we listen to her, please prepare questions. If you have any question, you can put it on the chat box, or you can call my number, which I will pin it there. And then we ask questions and we can flow together. Remember, we are all here to learn something, and we are here to empower ourselves as women. In actual fact, it's for everyone. But as women, we are here to empower ourselves through successful stories, through overcomers, those who have been through life challenges, but by the grace of God, they are still standing and they have overcome. And so tonight, I welcome you, Mrs. Iyeti Apeji. Thank you for joining our platform this evening. You are very much welcome to this platform. So if you would like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, and then we can take it from there.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am very grateful to be here this evening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Iyeti Apeji. I am a wife of one husband, just one husband. I have 3 children. I live in Nottinghamshire in the United Kingdom. I'm a daughter, mom, friend, all the things that a woman usually is. I have all those things. And I also run my own business from the comfort of my home. I run Ezrila Social. It used to be purely social media marketing, but now I do more of online business management.
Good. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So what made you do your own business? What made you just stop working for people and started working for yourself? If it's something you'd like to share with us.
Okay, so a few years ago, about 5-6 years ago, I think the journey started around then. Just shortly after I had my last born is 7 now.
7 years.
Yes, and I had to go back to work after maternity leave. It was fortunately at that time my mom was around, so she was able to help. But she also left, and I was stuck with having to look after herself and her 2 older ones and being a good mom at the same time. And at this very same time, my husband worked in a totally different city up north. And while he was working there, he was only coming home weekends, and it was a very challenging time. I couldn't find help. And when I did find help, they really messed me up. It was it was very, very challenging. It was a difficult time trying to make sure that I was a good mom, a good wife, and working. I was working in a job that I really loved. I loved my job. I won't lie, my last job was amazing. I had a nice team I was working with. The team was a great team. We had lots of fun together and we worked well together. It was a lovely team. So leaving that job was very challenging. So eventually, when I had to think about was the thoughts that came to me, I started praying about it. Let me just rewind a bit. I started praying about my situation.
Yes.
And as I was praying and trusting God for a way out, everything I was trying to do to fix the situation was not working.
Yeah.
I would look for someone to come and help me with the kids. It wasn't working. I was paying a childminder, but it wasn't working in the sense that it was costing me much more to pay a childminder than what I was earning in my work. So it was just a real problem for me.
Okay.
So I made the decision after doing a lot of research and praying about it So this was the question that came up to me often. Each time I thought about this question, that was what made me to make up my mind. So the question was, what would I regret most? Would I regret working and not having this job and not having the career I dreamt of and going in the direction I wanted to go? Or would I regret not spending time with my children and not being there and not being physically available for them to raise them the way I wanted to? And I realized that I regret that more. And that pushed my decision, and I was able to make the decision to say, okay, I am ready to look at what else I could do. And that's when I decided to start up as a virtual assistant. And that was how I started my business initially 5 years ago.
So, if I may ask, have you ever regretted of doing this your own, like doing your own business? Is this something you have regretted?
There are times that I felt, I wouldn't call it regrets, but felt concerned that have I made the right decision? Yes, there have been times I'll go back. I don't think I've regretted it. Anytime I felt even the slight concern, my children will show me something. God will allow them to do something that makes it worth it for me. They will just there's so many of those examples, just that they've gone off my mind right now. But I always had an example of, they will always say something that will make me realize that I made the right decision to be there for them when they needed me. I made the right decision for my son. My son is he was 11 at the time. I made a decision, and if you know children, teenage years is one of the critical ages.
Oh yes.
In which you have to make up your mind to be there and deal with them, and it has helped a great deal, because the way I was living before, I didn't have time to talk to them. They wake up in the morning, I'm rushing them to nurseries, childminder, school, everything. I was just rushing them to everywhere at the same time. And then I rush to work, come back, rush them to eat their food. My middle child didn't do homework for a whole term because I just could not. Yes, I could not cope with it. I was not able to look at the homework to see, okay, is she done it? I just left it. I abandoned it. So yes, it was challenging. And
but that's a good advice.
I did feel concerned when things were not working as well as I wanted it to work.
So does that mean the community didn't accept you when you started the business?
I wouldn't say it is the community that didn't accept me. It was more like I just wasn't getting the right clients. Mainly it was, most of my concerns were financial. Yes, I had like a few people that were not really supportive, but it didn't stop me from. I'm kind of a very determined person, especially if I'm certain that God has confirmed something to me. It's very difficult for me to shift. I'll have to hear something else from God before I shift.
Okay. So, in during this, when you began, how was it? How was it with your family and business when we decided to quit your job and then do your own thing? How was it? How did the family accepted it, or how was it like? Especially when it comes to husband and all that. If the money comes from two pockets, sometimes it's good, and just realizing that, hey, it's not working, I need to come home and take care of my children and all that, and then all of a sudden you decide to quit your job. Was it okay with home? Like, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I understand. Before I answer that question, I want to explain that I didn't fully quit. What I did was, instead of resigning completely, I just did like, I resigned and then still kept on working on the bank as an agency. But it gave me flexibility. So I chose the hours I wanted to work. and I just made it. I only worked 3 days, and in those 3 days, I made them really convenient for me. So I made sure that I started work after I dropped the children and I didn't feel any pressure. And I made sure that I left work in time so that my children didn't stay long at any after school club or anything like that. And there was no pressure. So I just made it really pressureless. That way I was able to manage, keep up the house, washing and
Yeah.
everything without feeling all the stress that I was feeling. So, in answering that question, yes, it was quite challenging. My husband did not like it one bit. He was upset. But I had given him hints already. I told him that it's not working
Mm.
and
Yeah.
it's too difficult. I couldn't get any help, So, yes, he was upset for a while. It took him a while to come to terms with it. I think it took until people started telling him that, oh, your wife is
Yeah.
doing very well. I see your wife doing this. I see your wife doing that. I think that was when he started to really relax and
Okay.
to accept
All
it.
right. Thank you very much. Before we continue, I just want to acknowledge the people on the platform. So thank you once again for joining us, Overcomer Story. We are here to share our stories to encourage people out there who are aiming to come out of their challenges but don't know how to. People are here to share their story to encourage you. If they have been able to come out from whatever challenges they were going through and have been able to overcome, then surely you will be able to overcome too. And so I want to acknowledge the presence of my own husband, Mr. Koja Beka Phillips. God bless you. Thank you very much. Erica Haruna Zaral, thank you for joining. Mystery Adams, thank you on Facebook. Please, if you are on, kindly say hello on my, I know Loveness, you are on. Say hello on the comment chat so that I can acknowledge you. And Trudy Asamoah on Instagram, thank you very much. Eddie B, thank you. Gloria, thank you for joining us. Yes, God bless you. Thank you. Oh, I hope you are enjoying. If you have any questions, kindly put it on the comment chat and we will answer. If you have any questions as she speaks. Thank you very much. So can you take maybe a few minutes? Hello, Lena. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Mami Abna Dakwa. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. Can you tell us a little bit about the journey of working for yourself? The journey in your own business, the challenges, everything that you've been able to overcome or you've managed to come out that you want to share to encourage someone out there who is trying to set up his or her own business. Yeah, if you can tell us a bit of the journey.
Okay, so running a business or starting a business is not easy. I'll be really,
Very
really honest. It's
yeah.
full of challenges. It can be up and down. You can have all sorts of emotions on different days. So
Yeah.
I would say that starting, and I was fortunate that as soon as I started, I got, in fact, the very first day I resigned, as I resigned my job, I got someone who hired me immediately to do a piece of work. Then
Yeah.
from there, I attended an event and I was able to get another client who I worked for 6 months, and then thereafter another one who I worked for 3 months. So it can be challenging in the sense that if you do not have the right support. Some of the mistakes I made was one, in the UK, you have a lot of support when you are starting a business, but I didn't
Yeah.
explore any of those options because I didn't even know they existed. I didn't know that they existed, and it was something that I regretted. But by the time I knew about it, I had already spent 2 years in business.
Oh
So,
wow.
in terms of challenges, there was challenges in understanding what I wanted to do and whether how marketable it was. There was challenges in marketing myself. There's a lot of challenges in trying to get people to buy into what I'm offering and how I could help them. So there was a lot of challenges in that area, and there were challenges with being, learning the skills I needed and improving myself. So I'm getting the finances to actually because with every business, if you don't put into it, if you don't put in capital, if you don't invest in it either through your knowledge or through financial stuff or anything like that, if you don't make any form of investment, it dies because you stay stagnant and you don't grow, you don't improve. So I think I'll just share a couple of stories of some of my most challenging days. So I remember when I had been in the business for over a year. No, was it up to a year? Yes, it was over a year. I'd been in the business for over a year, and I had lost my last client because the contract had ended. And she didn't stop working with me for maybe because I didn't do a good job or anything like that. She stopped because she wasn't she couldn't afford it at that time, and so she decided to stop. And I, on the other hand, I was now stuck and I didn't have anybody to work for. And even though at that time I was not earning much from it, but at least it was something. I tried to price myself comparatively, and I wasn't getting as much traction as I wanted. So I remember one particular day, I just sat down in my house. I was alone because the kids had gone to school, and I just started crying. I said, God, I don't know what is happening. Did I make a mistake? Did I do wrong? Did I hear well? Is it really you that sent me to start this business? All sorts of questions ran through my mind. I was just like, am I sure I did the right thing? But I will think about my children. I'll think about how much they are developing and how much things are getting better with them. And but that day I was just completely down. So I called my younger sister. We had a long conversation. I told her how I'm really frustrated. And this was still during the period that my husband wasn't happy about the business. So I didn't get any support at all on the one end, and I was just confused about what to do. So I called, and before I called my sister, I just remembered two people that I had known before. So I just sent them a couple of emails and said, oh, I'm doing this now. And if you need help, I can. At that time, I was doing social media. So I said, I'm doing social media marketing. And if you are interested, I can help you with that. And I'll give a quick email and say they should email me back if they're interested. So after doing that, I just left it and I went to go and call my sister, and I was starting moaning and complaining and telling her how things were difficult. I was just moaning and moaning and moaning, and I was just like confused at the same time. And then immediately I finished with her. I think she had to go for a reason. And then I now went to my phone and now saw that one of the people who had called me. That was one of the people I had sent an email to. He had called me. So I now said, okay, let me call him back. So I called him back, and then he now said that he saw my email and he's very excited that he has been looking for somebody. That how did I know he was looking for somebody to help him in this area? I said I didn't know. I just sent it to him. He now said he's looking for it, and at that time I was earning nothing. Apart, I don't think I was earning anything at all from anywhere. So he now called me, and I was now prepared that even if it's £100, at least let me start with something. Then as it grows, I can. That's £100 a month. I know it's very small now when I think about it, but I was willing to do it just to get something. And he now offered me £300 and said he's going to pay me that, and I should just start the work. But in hindsight, when I think back, his offer, it sounded good to me because I was desperate. But really, considering the amount of work he was asking, it wasn't enough. But I was desperate at that time and I was grateful. And immediately I called my sister back and said, you will not believe it. After I just finished mourning to you, God just sent somebody right now as a new client. And then we're happy and we rejoiced. I worked for him for over 1 year before I finally stopped working with him. So that was one challenge. And then some other challenges is just learning things, knowing, okay, which areas to learn, what skills you can bring. So I had to spend a lot of time. I invested in my training. Some of my investments did not pan out as I wanted it to. Like once I invested in learning how to do Facebook ads. And honestly, it was just a waste of money because even though I learned it to a certain degree, I couldn't learn it well enough to do it as well as an expert could. So it just gave me kind of like a basic training in it. So yes, I think those are some of the challenges. It's just getting business, getting clients, getting people to buy into what you are doing, and and some clients too can be difficult. I've had a few of them. So those are some of the challenges you will have.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to acknowledge Lady Pastor Ajua. Thank you for joining us. And everyone on the platform, those on Facebook, those on Instagram, thank you for joining us. Yes, it's such an interesting story. Yes. So the question I want to ask is, if you are determined to do something and all these challenges comes, what do you do? Do you have to quit, or you just have to stand strong and then move on?
I think life, there's a quote I read somewhere. I think it is by, I can't remember who it is by again, but it's a quote that I really understood and made sense to me. As a Christian, the Christian walk is battles and blessings, battles and blessings, battles and blessings. So as you, and anyone who tells you that as a Christian everything is blessing is not being truthful to you.
Not at all.
It's not, in fact, it's a big lie. Let me just put it that way, because you're going to battle through things and then you'll be blessed. You have period that you are at rest, and then you have period that you are battling. So when you have challenges, for me, I believe, is to go back to God, because He's the only person, especially if you are a Christ follower and you're determined to follow Christ. Any challenges that come, He knows ahead of you. He knows where He's taking you to. And one of the things I'm learning is your challenges are kind of like a training ground for you. They help you to become stronger. They help you to learn how to be more humble, because one of the problems that most people have is pride, anger, and all those things. With the challenges, you learn to be more humble, you learn to be more patient. You see, the whole purpose of all this is God wants us to look like Christ. That's what the Bible tells us. The Bible tells us that He wants us to resemble Christ. And Christ did not run away from challenges. And so neither should we. We should look at the challenges head on and trust Him that this thing, I'm going to pass it through. And in fact, it reminds me of an image I saw and I read yesterday. You see, God did not remove the Red Sea from the way when the Israelites were going to pass to go into the wilderness. So if you remember that story, when they got to the Red Sea, they had the Egyptians behind them, and they had the Red Sea in front of them. God could have easily just removed the Red Sea completely, but He didn't. He parted it. And sometimes God brings those challenges, and then He just creates a way through them for you, so that at the end of it, you can get to what He wants you to do. It's all about Him, basically. It's not about you getting what you want. It's more about Him getting what He wants for you.
This brings me to another question. So, please, if you are on, kindly say hello for me to acknowledge you. If you just join in, we are still on Overcomer Story. So we have Yeti Apeji here sharing her story and her journey of her own business. And so if you are on and you have any question, you can just write it on the comments section, and then we can ask her for you. All right, so this brings me to another question. So when you have a business, since we are talking about Overcomer Story, so when you have a business, as on the perspective of a Christian, do you think that the business is yours, or we should see the business as God's own that we are managing?
Okay, so I personally, from studying scripture, I understand that. I understand basically that we are stewards and we actually don't own anything.
Yeah.
We don't own our
Yes.
lives because our lives belongs to him. We don't own
Yeah.
anything really. Everything we have is his. So this includes business. But I understand that
Yeah.
it's not everyone that has come to that understanding, but that is my own understanding. And that is based on what
Okay.
I've seen in scripture. Because the Bible talks about in the story about the talents and talks about how
Yeah.
he gave each person, he gave the first person 5 talents, he gave the second person 3 talents, or two talents, and the last one 1 talent. And each of these talents, he gave it to us to multiply and to reproduce and to use it. He told each person to occupy till he comes. So God
Yeah.
has given us so much. Each and every one of us, he has placed abundant gifts, resources, and a lot of blessings on us so that we can in turn bless others. We can in turn be fruitful and multiply. We can produce fruits for him. So it's basically about him. So yes, from my business belongs to God and I am his steward, but I will be untruthful if I tell you that there are times I don't forget that. There are times I do forget that he is the owner.
Okay.
And I have to remind myself regularly as possible that this business is not mine. I am looking after it for him. I am his. I'm meant to multiply. I'm meant to reproduce for him. I'm his steward. And so I need to seek him at all times for direction and where he wants me to go.
Good. Wow, that's powerful. Thank you very much. So please, like I said, I know few people have joined. Please, if you are on, kindly say hello for us to recognize you and acknowledge you. Thank you all for joining. We are still on Overcomer's story, and we have our lady here sharing her story and her journey on her business, starting her own business. So sitting down now, how do you feel about your own business? How do you feel having your own business and how things are going now? Looking at from the journey that you've just shared with us, looking at from the beginning till now, how do you feel now?
I'm
Hello,
grateful.
Akosia Bodu, for joining us.
I'm grateful to God for where he has taken me to. I've served over 100 people in
Yeah.
different capacities. And I've been able to
Mm.
help. I think the greatest joy for me is I've been able to help other people to start their
Mm.
own businesses and earn an income. I think that for me is the greatest joy of the whole thing. Knowing that, okay, there are people that did not have an income, they didn't, and they were able to say, do you know what? I need to do something. And I was able to offer them training that gave them opportunity to serve people. That's one of the best things for me. So that gives me joy. And also,
Gives
I'm
you joy.
also grateful when I see the people I've served and I've seen that
Mm.
maybe they are, because I do websites, I do a lot of digital marketing and things like that. And when I see some of the work, I feel satisfied and pleased that I was able to be a blessing. Because I think
Mm.
my focus right now, even though at the very beginning it was about my children, as I kept on in the business, God made me understand that it wasn't meant to be about his children, that it was
Yeah.
about him and fulfilling his own purpose for my life. It's about me
Mm.
becoming the blessing that he has created me to be. And so I
Yeah.
now shifted from that and I focused on being a blessing. And so that is what gives me joy, the blessing that I'm able to impact in people's lives and do for other people, supporting people to grow their businesses in an online space. I know for a lot of people, the online space is like a mystery. For some people, it is like a serious challenge that they don't know how they're going to get through. There's some people don't know what to do about it. And so knowing that I'm able to use those skills that come easily to me to minister to others, it gives me joy.
That's good. All right. I just want you to take a few minutes to tell us the details, what you do to. I know people are watching us. The question I want to also ask is that, do you always need money to start a business? And then you tell us details into what you do, because I know people are watching us all over. I know people from Canada are watching, Ghana are watching, and United Kingdom, US, people are watching from all over. So, and then you tell us something detail about your business. I know no matter where they are, they can work with you. So you want to detail us a little bit about what you do. Thank you.
So, do you always need money to start a business?
Yes.
I would say that no matter how small, you do need a little bit of money.
Okay.
So, for instance, when I started, I think one of the first investments I made was in a laptop, because it's difficult for you to work online without a laptop.
Yes.
So you need to, so it depends on the business, but there's no business that doesn't need some form of capital at all. I don't think it exists. You need to invest some money before you can start a business. But each business has its own amount that you can invest. It has, like, I think that starting up as a VA, the cost is not much. If you have a laptop, like if you wanted to start as a virtual assistant, you have a good laptop and you have some training, or if you are the type that can learn on your own, you learn as much as you can on your own. If you have that, you should be fine to start and marketing yourself. Social media is free to use, so you can use that to market yourself. Then eventually, and there's some websites that you can use that are free, and you can start with that until you are ready to invest more. So starting up some businesses does not require so much capital, but you would eventually need to invest if you want to grow it. So that's what I want to say in that. Then in terms of what I do, like I first said, I started out as a virtual assistant. So I used to help people. The first things I used to do was to help people to edit their books. Those are the first jobs I did. After that, I moved on to social media marketing, which I did for a long time. I still do, in fact. I still do social media for a few clients. So, but right now I have recently rebranded and pivoted a bit, because in the last few years, I noticed that more and more clients were needing more than just social media. And they needed, like, their email marketing to be set up. They needed their team to be trained. They needed their team to be managed. They needed projects to be done. They needed so many different things. They had all these projects. They had all these things. And then I started researching. I said, I'm doing much more than what I started with. There must be something, there must be a way this can be coined so that I can serve more people. So I started out and I did my research and I found out about online business management. And I did a small course in it and I rebranded as online business. So my website is www.iete.com. So if you can visit that, and you'll be able to see more about how I serve. So as an online business manager, I do serve Christian entrepreneurs, but I serve other businesses in other ways. I serve by building websites. I can serve with your branding, your social media, and all that to businesses that are not Christian. But as an online business manager, because I'll be working closely with the owner of the business, and because for me, it's not just a business, it's ministry. It is helping that person so that the person can grow in the light of becoming more like Christ. That's wrong. It's Iete, not Ieti. Okay, so
do you want to type it? Yeah, type it.
I'm not sure I can type it. Let me see. I don't have the option. I don't have the option. So it's Iete, Iyete. The way you see my name written on the screen, that's exactly how it is.
All right.
Yeah. So so that's how I serve. In addition to that, I started last December to train people to become virtual assistants. So I've run like 4 different sessions, or should I say cohorts, in the last year. and I will be starting another one either in August or most likely in September now. I'll start another cohort, starting to train another set of people who want to start businesses in the online space as a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant is someone who does, it's just like being an administrator. They have lots of different things that they offer. Yeah, that's correct now. Thanks. So they have lots of things that they offer, and those skills they offer, they are for businesses who need some sort of support, but they don't need it. They do need it to be. They don't need it to work in the office. They're happy for you to do it from a remote location. So I train people in how to start up their business and how to market themselves and how to start to sell so that they can get new clients. So that's one of the things I do now. And it excites me doing that. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that in the by September. I should be doing the last one for this year in September. Then I'll have another one in January.
Okay, thank you very much. So if you are on and you have any question you want to ask her, please put it on the comment section and she will answer. So as an overcomer, we are trying to wrap up. Our time is almost there. So as an overcomer, what will you advise the people out there who are, who are not sure whether to start a business? They really wish they can start a business, but are not sure. And also the mothers that are just thinking of quitting their job and do something for themselves so that they'll be able to take care of their children. What advice will you give them?
Okay, so as an overcomer, first thing is, if you do want to start a business, do your research. Spend some time researching things, ask questions. If you know people who are already in the kind of business that you are interested in, reach out to them and ask them questions so that you can get to know more before you leap into it. Be prayerful as well. The Bible talks about having a multiple counselors, that there's wisdom in that. So that is very key. Pray about it. Trust God to open your eyes to see if that is exactly what He wants you to do. That's number one. And if you are a mom and you're thinking of quitting, plan your exit. Yes, plan it. Look for a way to plan it in a way that it doesn't hurt too much financially, unless you are completely certain that God says drop the job and just go. Then you know He's going to take care of you and you have no reason to worry. But if He has not told you that, because the Bible also talks about if you don't work, don't eat. So you have to have that in mind that, okay, I want to drop this job, but I need to be able to earn an income so that I'm not left out of pocket, because the bills need to be paid. Your home needs to be taken care of. So what I would say is you need to find a way to either do it part-time. Maybe you work a few hours a week, like what I did. I was working part-time for a long time and then running my business as well. But my part-time work, the only difference was it was my decision on the days I wanted to work. So it was very super flexible. So if you decide that that is what you want to do, you can do it. Some other ways you can start is nowadays with COVID that has happened, there are lots of opportunities for you to work remotely. So look at opportunities like that allows you to work from home. And if you have the right skills, apply for them. God is leading you to start a business. Go for it. Walk on the water. He's more than able to sustain you, and he's more than able to provide for you.
Good. He's more than able. He can sustain us. Okay. So one of the things, like from what you were saying, one of the things that I noticed I realized was that you constantly train yourself. Even though you work for yourself, you constantly. Does it come with passion, or is it because you were passionate about what you were doing? That is why you decided to just constantly train yourself, do research and all that? or it's just part of it? It's just part of the business that you have to constantly train yourself.
Both actually. So I would say that if understanding your skills is very key to when you're starting a business. Like if you want to work in the online space, you have to keep on learning and you have to enjoy it. So I enjoy learning. It's a passion for me. I'm passionate about learning new things. I can spend a lot of time, like I can spend loads of time researching and learning something new. No, it can be just be something I'll just hear and I'll just be like, I'll be interested in knowing that. So it's not just business wise. Naturally, I love to just learn. I enjoy learning things. So learning is very, very important. And for every profession out there, accountants, lawyers, doctors, they're always learning. Learning doesn't end. You have to keep improving. You have to keep fine-tuning yourself to make yourself better and stronger and more useful. You see, the Bible talks about it. It talks about making your refining, being refined. So all those things are refining you and you are improving, Yes.
Wow. I've learned something. Okay,
Okay.
so how were you? Can you see the question? How were you
Yes.
able to convince your husband to come on your boat?
To be honest with you, I could not convince him, so I left it to God to do. I could not convince him. Like what I said earlier was, he just could. You see, one of the things I've learned is opposites attract, right? And sometimes when you are an entrepreneurial woman or man and you marry someone who doesn't have that entrepreneurial mindset, it's both of you are on different planes, and it's difficult for one person to understand what the other person is seeing because the other person has an entrepreneurial mindset and the other one doesn't have. So all I did basically is pray about it. I just prayed and I buried my head and worked hard at it and prayed. That was basically what I did. And he started to see the evidence eventually. When he saw things were getting better with the kids, it was much, much easier for the kids. And financially too, I wasn't a liability. So it made, it made things easier for him. Knowing that, okay, she's not actually completely dependent, but is still able to contribute something to the family and she's looking after the children. Yeah, so it made things easier.
Good. So what will you tell the rest of our ladies out there about when they are trying to do something and their partner is not in supportive, what they should do?
I'll say do the same thing. Pray about it.
Pray about it. Watching, maybe it's not everyone that is watching us is a Christian. So on the perspective of the other side,
okay, so if you're not a Christian, because this kind of thing can break a marriage. It can completely break a marriage. So I really don't know how I advise you if you're not a Christian. I'm really thinking, I can't think of it because it's challenging. When I started, I saw lots of people and I still see lots of people, their marriages have broken up. Whether it has something to do with the business or not, I don't know. But it does affect marriages a great deal if it's not managed properly.
Okay.
If it's not managed properly, it can be very challenging.
Yeah. I think if you are a Christian, that's the bonus side of the good side of it, that you pray, how to at least ask God to step into the situation. But if you are not a Christian, I will advise that you try our God, who is always doing it for us. Okay. But also, what you have to do is that sit your husband, find a way. There are so many ways you can convince your partner. There are so many ways. Sit them down, even if you have to, try and do whatever you have to do to be able to convince them Let them see reasons why you have to do this. And no matter what you try, I'm sure one day it will not be the same day. It will take time, but definitely one day they will come into support and help you to achieve your purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you said has reminded me of something. So if you know, usually you would know your husband, you know how he wants your information presented to him. So if you are not a Christ follower, present it to him in a way that he will understand. If he wants you to do graphs and PowerPoint presentation, any of those things, if that's what you need, yes, it's possible. It's possible. If he needs you to present it to him in that kind of pictorial form, do it. If he needs you to see the
So it's all
figures
about
and to
patience
see,
as well.
yes, show him what it's all about. I think that is one of the ways you can do it. Yes. So Nancy is right.
Good. Wow. So soon our time is up, but we are so grateful to all of you. Thank you very much. If you have any question, we just have about a minute to go. If you have question, you want to put it on there. But if you are happy with what you are doing, you just want to give her a thumbs up so that we can bring more people. Let's just say thank you to her by saying something on the comment section to encourage her and tell her how much we appreciate her. So we thank you so much, Yeti Apeji. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate your time here with us. We have learned a lot of things. So I just want to encourage someone out there. If you are there and you are struggling between your children, your home, and your the work you do, and you are thinking of working for yourself, we have heard this overcomer, the lady here. She has overcome and now she's enjoying the work she's doing. You can do the same. And so if you are aiming to do your own business, don't hesitate to do it, but find the right way, find the right business for you. Do a research so that you can do something to add value onto yourself and also support the family. Remember, our children are very, very important and we need to take care of them. If we miss their growing up, we will not get to know it or see it again. And so let's make time and be there for the children at the same time. Make input in our life if we want to work for ourselves and do something for us. Thank you very much, and God richly bless you. And we shall meet again. Lady, God bless you. Thank you so much. We've enjoyed and we've learned so much from your experience. God richly bless you.
Amen.
Is there anything that anyone wants to ask? If you want to ask anything, okay, thank you. Okay, so if there is nothing, then we'll bring our session today to an end. We shall see you. Oh, quickly, from next week, our time is changing. We are changing from Saturday to Sunday, 7 p.m. Sunday, 7 p.m. And so please take note of that. Sunday, 7 p.m. No more Saturday. Thank you very much. We really appreciate all of you who came to support us. Continue to share the links to others for them to listen, for them to hear. It will encourage someone. Most of the people are in the same situation that our sister found herself in some years back. Rich love, God bless you for joining. But by the grace of God, she has come out. And so share the links to encourage people who are out there that are in the same position, that they don't know what to do. They don't know how to come out. Share it and it will encourage someone to be able to be overcomer like we are here to share ours. God bless you and have a good evening and good night. Thank you very much. So I shall see you next week. Have a good night and good evening. Bye-bye. God bless you, all the people in Instagram. Thank you very much. Thank you, lady.